All right, good morning, traders. Today is November 4th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there, podcast land, digital land, cyberland. Thank you for subscribing to my content. Thank you for following my content. Thank you for being a part of the BYOB process. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for everybody that shares my content. Special shout out John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted, sharing the content, helping get the good word out there, helping to grow the community. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, let's take a look at what happened yesterday, see how we can prepare ourselves for today. All right, my SPY pivot this morning, 681.80. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. FNGU made an inside day, closing over bullish trap over the 17. Diamond Dow made a lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17. QQQ, SPY, both of them made higher highs, higher lows, closing over bullish traps over the 17 EMAs. IWM made a lower high and a lower low, closing below a bearish trap under the 17. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend, just barely, and a 10-minute downtrend, just barely. Gold made an inside day, closing inside a bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. Silver made a lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. USO in an uptrend, made a daily uptrend, made a higher high, made a higher low, closed over a bullish trap and over the 17 EMO. USO trying to stage a rally here. Same with UNG. UNG in a daily uptrend made a higher high and a higher low, closing over bullish trap and over the 17 EMA. We like that. US dollar index remains in an uptrend. We don't like that. Not really. But it's in a bear flag. Closed near the 99.87 area. SPY Max Pain 682 with a put to call ratio of about 1.2 puts for each call that expires today. Remember, those index options expire at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time, while the securities expire at 4. The main event for this morning, for this week, should be the employment situation, which is on Friday at 8 o'clock, I believe. Okay, Friday, 8 o'clock employment situation. That's probably going to be the main event this week. All right, let's take a look at some charts. We'll start off with SPY. We'll drill down on it. Okay, so you can see on the 10-minute chart here, got a 10-minute downtrend right through there. Okay, 10-minute downtrend. Didn't quite get the cross. More of a consolidation right here, just over VWAP on the 10-minute chart. Let's take a peek at the 2-hour chart. And let's pick up a clean chart. 2-hour chart, you can just barely see it. It's very faint. You got the 3 EMA just riding just on top of VWAP here, which rides just over the 8 EMA. So 2-hour uptrend, and on the 10-minute, what did we decide? 10-minute downtrend right through there, okay? Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, 10-minute downtrend, left off with yesterday. On 2-hour chart, again, you can see the 3 EMA, which is the yellow line, riding just over the 8 EMA. 2-hour uptrend right there, okay? So now you guys know my favorite trade, okay? It's going to be either QQQ or SPY, 10-minute uptrend over VWAP that resides inside a 2-hour uptrend, that lives inside of a daily uptrend, that resides inside the weekly uptrend, inside the monthly uptrend. Okay, so far we still got daily uptrends, still got weekly uptrends, got monthly uptrends. We had a 2-hour uptrend yesterday for a brief moment, not for long. All right, and you can see this morning we're rolling over on those 2 hours for QQQ and SPY. You can see us dipping right now. All right, let's take a look at QQQ on the daily chart. See where we are with that. You can see QQQ almost making an attack on the all-time highs up here. Incredibly bullish for QQQ. QQQ makes higher low, higher high, closed over a bullish trap. Still in an uptrend. And I'll zoom way out. And at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in an uptrend. Okay, on the weekly chart, obviously, you can see all the green dots. Bullish and in an uptrend. On the monthly chart, definitely bullish and in an uptrend right through there. Let's take a look at SPY. SPY on the monthly chart, bullish and in an uptrend, looking just like QQQ. On the weekly chart, bullish and in an uptrend, looking just like QQQ. We got a little sword candle put in up there on the weekly chart. That could be a red flag right there. And that's the kind of sword, it's not pointed down, so it's pointed up, meaning kind of price rolls over back to the 17 EMA. We'll see. This is a weekly chart. So there's SPY. That's usually what that candle means. We'll see if we get any follow through. Again, it's just one candle without follow through. All right, it's just one candle. So there's SPY on the weekly chart. And let's go to the daily chart. And here we got not attacking the all-time highs, but we got a higher low and a higher high. We closed over a bullish trap, over the rising 17s. Nothing's broken yet. Okay, top of quadrant 4. You can see here's the low. There's our high. Top of quadrant 4, and still in an uptrend for SPY. Let's take a look at IWM. Okay, IWM has not made, got to take out this low right here, has not made a lower low yet. Okay, price action yesterday, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. Still in an uptrend, just not moving up. Okay, so still in an uptrend, just having that pullback in that uptrend. In the middle of quadrant 4, so that's still bullish and still in an uptrend. IWM, Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Got a lower high, lower low. We closed inside a bullish trap over the rising 17, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend. So you can see we got SPY, QQQ, Diamond Dow, IWM, all still bullish, still in uptrends right there on the daily time frame. 2-hour time frame, not so much. But the daily time frame, the bigger day, remember the bigger time frames rule over. If you've got something that looks like iffy, you go up to the next time frame. You can see we're still bullish, and you give it to the bulls. Okay, that's what I usually do. All right, so we got daily, weekly, and monthly. You can see all still in bullish uptrends right through there. Let's take a look at FNGU. And for FNGU, almost an attack on the all-time highs. Remember, not yesterday, but the day before, that would be Friday, FNGU put in a new all-time high. Big red candle, but still put in a new all-time high. FNGU for yesterday, inside day, lower high, low, higher low, closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17 EMA right here. Okay, so obviously, still at the top of quadrant 4, I'll zoom out. Still bullish and still in an uptrend. We actually have some consolidation over prior consolidation. That is a bullish outlook right there. So there's FNGU. Let's take a look at the game plans. All right. Actually, we'll review the game plans when we look at the pre-market. So we'll come back to those. T2101, okay, so during yesterday's move, we had a slam down at the beginning of the day. So you can see here's our slam down. And during the slam down, participation increased. Okay, that's market breadth increased. And during the ride back up where we took the stairs, all right, this is where we fell out of the window. This is where we took the stairs. During the ride back up, we had less participation. You can see we hit a peak and then started to melt off as price took the stairs back up. Okay, so T2101. So basically they're telling us that the involvement or the breadth that's in the market is they're interested in increasing if we're coming down, but if we're going to continue to rise up, we're getting less and less participation as we rise up. Okay, so there's T2101. This is in regards to the NYSE. Okay, the whole NYSE. Okay, not just like FNGU or just SPY. It's about all of the participants in the NYSE. T2122. Nothing bullish going on here. Okay, still got a downtrend happening. We spent the day inside the sell zone. We made an appearance inside the oversold zone, but all day we spent the day inside the sell zone. So nothing bullish happening here. We need price. We need these data, all right, the technicals to get back up over midpoint here, all right, and at least start making their way into the buy zone. It's not happening yet, and we're even dipping lower again today, so we may find ourselves in the oversold zone with the dipping lower that happened in the pre-market or the post-market last night. So this is T2122. T2123, you can see we made an attack on the pullback low. Here's a pullback low here. We made an attack. I can see a little bit of daylight under there, so it looks like they inked out a lower low. If we look at price action here on the 15-minute T2123, you can see we've got let me get my drawing tools out. We can see we got a gap here that never got filled by the bulls, a gap here that never got filled by the bulls. We've got a gap here that never got filled by the bulls. The bulls are, with that less and less participation, I got to say, they're not looking at it looks like they need to have a nice pullback so they can fill up on iron and spinach and mustard and red meat. It's just not happening. The bulls just are not interested up here so far. I don't know if it's the economic data. I don't know if it's the government shutdown. I'm not sure what's going on, but bulls are not that interested based on what I'm looking at. Okay, so you got lots of gap downs that are just not getting filled by the bulls. You can see we're underneath the 200 SMA, not my favorite place to be unless I was a bear. All right, we're down at the bottom of quadrant 1. So this is the all-time high to the pullback low. You can see we are down at the very, very bottom of quadrant 1. That is bearish down there. All right, and it's in a downtrend. Okay, so nothing says uptrend on the 15-minute chart. All right, and of course you can see us opening up lower, all right, this morning in the SPY and the QQQ. Okay, we'll see if they can get it recovered by 9:30 when we open up. We'll see. 3-bar chart. All right, you can see here some highs right here. We needed to make some higher highs. These would have been the higher highs to beat. Okay, we didn't make it, all right. We got some lows right here, and you can see the daylight just barely. If you squint, you can see some daylight below this low candle here, and the green line here, making T2123 inking out a lower low right here. So that makes T2123 3-bar in a downtrend. Again, underneath the 200 SMA. Not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear. Okay, so price action. All in all, still, here is the low and there is the all-time high. So here's our rally up from April. And you can see we're still up in quadrant 4, but just not able to put anything together. Maybe this is a double bottom. We'll see what happens, but it's not looking good for the bulls yet. Again, we saw that on the 15-minute T2123 with the evidence and the clues, all right, of bulls not filling those bearish gaps. Okay, big time clue, big time clue. And on top of all of that, what else do we got? Look, well, we got consolidation under consolidation. Okay? See this? See how we got consolidation under consolidation. Another big clue there. Okay? Consolidation under consolidation. Okay, we're bearish. All right? Until they can get this thing turned around, we're still bearish. Stay with the trend. All right? Until it throws you off. Okay? So this is still bearish right here. All right. Now, not a big fan of trading counter trend in a bullish market, but may not be long before some of those bigger time frames begin to roll over. As you can see, I pointed out the sword in QQQ earlier. I think it was QQQ. I got a very short memory, so there was a sword on the weekly chart, and it was inverted straight up into the sky. Not the sword we like. Okay, we like the sword that's pointed down because we're bulls. I'm mainly bullish. All right, and we like it when we see price is going to hook off the bottom and return back up to the highs. Okay, so not the greatest candle, but again, we need follow through on that sword candle. Anyways, right here. Okay, so you can see consolidation under consolidation. The clues are all there. The pullbacks are coming. So we'll see what happens right now, okay? T2123. So there's the 15-minute. I just showed you the 3-bar chart. Let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU still consolidating over prior consolidation. This is amazing. This is the 10 of the big caps, okay? Got some pre-market activity. Consolidation under consolidation. So could they stage a midpoint somewhere in between the middle and do a J hook? It's a possibility. We'll see what happens. This is FNGU on the 15-minute. For yesterday, all right, we made a high. Obviously made a lower high right here. So we left off the day. Here's a low, making a lower low. So we left off the day in a downtrend on the FNGU 15-minute chart. Okay? In a downtrend, 15-minute downtrend underneath VWAP, but in a bull flag. Okay? That's a bull flag. Up and over to the right. And I saw that consolidation. I thought for sure we were going higher. Unless they can jerk it all the way back up through, just maybe this becomes a failed breakdown and they jerk it up and rip it up over all of the bull flag here. All right, so we'll see what happens. See that pennant flag where price comes in here, kind of interesting, like comes down here and goes up here like that, little pennant flag. Okay, so they may take this, and start moving up and up and up and up and up. We'll see what they want to do. All right, it's a possibility we have a failed breakdown. All right, in other words, a breakdown that doesn't go anywhere, and the bulls buy it back up. So I'm kind of expecting that today. We'll see what happens. All right, but I'm gonna stick with the trend, but I'm kind of expecting that. Okay, and it might happen and it might not happen, but I'll be looking for it to manifest and materialize on the 3, the 5, and the 10-minute charts to kind of point that out. Okay, so we'll be looking for that. The bulls to recover this bull flag. All right, this will be important. If they don't, okay, we need to look for tomorrow to see if they can recover and recover this breakdown on this bull flag. If they fail tomorrow, I gotta say it's a good chance we're rolling over. We're going to come back here to this area right here, right on top of all of this consolidation through here. So probably a visit back to, right here on the top of that shelf. Could see a visit back right about here. Okay, if they don't recover today or tomorrow, could see a visit back to this area. Boy, that's a thick line. We don't want that one. Let's try this one, like right through here. Okay, so a visit back to here, and looking for it to J hook off of here, come down, and then J hook off of here. We'll see what happens. All right, so watch the price action for today. That's FNGU. All right, let's take a look at. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do this. The economic data here. SPY max pain for today, 682. All right, that's for the options that expired today. Remember, they expire at 4:15. Put the call ratio about 1.25 puts for each call that expires today. All right, on max pain for SPY. On the dollar, come back over here. Dollar still in an uptrend. Let's see if I can get the Yep. See the dollar making higher lows here. Okay, so you got the dollar making a higher low here. All right, and you can see that was a previous low. You can see we got a little high here, and we're making a higher high and an even higher high. And you can see from this high we have another higher low, and we've got higher highs. So we're in an uptrend on the dollar. But if we zoom out here, let me see if I can get this to zoom out. Okay, you can see, and let's see if I can scrunch that just a little bit. Okay, you can see we're still in the midst of a huge bear flag. Okay, so here's our flag down. All right, and then you kind of box it off over here. So we're still in this bear flag right through here. We're just in a daily uptrend. You can see it approaching the falling 200 SMA. Be interested if they break out and can hold the higher ground. A lot of consolidation here. If the bulls want to get it done, they need to consolidate over prior consolidation. We'll see what happens, okay? Actually, I like a weak dollar. I'm not in favor of this rally because I'm a bull in the market, and strong dollar does not promote new all-time highs when we got strong dollars, okay? Weak dollar does, because it makes our goods and services more competitive and more affordable in the global market space. All right, so I'm not a big fan of this dollar daily uptrend right now. Okay, but it's happening. That's what's going on. All right, let's take a look at earnings reports. Got some earnings reports this week. Not as big as the last week. Yesterday, let's see what we had for yesterday. Platnir, okay, about almost $500 billion right there on Platnir. Okay, they reported yesterday. Veritex Pharmaceuticals, $109 billion. They reported yesterday. Today, what do we got? Big Boy. Okay, actually, this is an important one because the AI is the talk of the town. So AMD is going to report tonight. $415 billion. Okay, they're making a huge comeback from where they were years and years ago. Okay, they did not have the market share that they're capturing now. Okay, so $415 billion. I don't know what Intel has, but AMD is slowly grabbing more and more of the market share. And now with AI on the scene, these are poised to be some big time players in the near future. I would not be surprised to see AMD being one of those top 20 mega caps. Okay, like Google and Nvidia and all of them. All right, I would not be surprised to see AMD. They've been inking their way back, scratching and clawing to grow their company, and they're doing a great job. Shopify is going to report. So AMD reports tonight. Shopify reports this morning. $225 billion. Okay, they're probably going to put in some good numbers. We'll see. None of these are market movers. AMD will definitely help out the SMH. All right, the sector. AMD could influence the AI community. All right, with whatever they report. Uber Technologies. A little bit of retail there, service industry. $201 billion they're going to report this morning. Arista, they're going to report tonight with AMD, $198 billion. Amgen, $180 billion. They're going to report tonight with AMD. Eaton Corporation. They do electrical. Let me just say, with all the AI, we don't have enough power. Eaton stands to profit in the future for AI because we're going to need a whole lot more infrastructure. But I only know Eaton to put in like panel boxes in residential homes and in commercial buildings. So I don't know that they supply some of the big hardware that's needed to move the voltage through the communities. Okay, but I heard they do, so I don't know for sure. But keep an eye on them. They could be a player in the future, right alongside of AMD. 148 billion for Eaton. Pfizer, 140 billion for Pfizer. They're going to report this morning as well with Eaton. Spotify, 133 billion. They're going to report this morning along with Pfizer, Eaton, Shopify, Uber. All right, so a little bit of market cap reporting. Tomorrow we got Toyota Motor. If they can find the P&L, all right, so they're still looking. Novo Nordisk, 220 billion in the morning tomorrow. AppLovin, all right, 215 billion tomorrow night. McDonald's, 212 billion in the morning, right next to Novo Nordisk. Okay, so you got the pharmaceuticals, and then you've got all the preservatives in the McDonald's foods. All right, so they go kind of hand in hand there. Qualcomm, 195 billion in Qualcomm. They're going to report tomorrow night. That'll be interesting. ARM Holdings, 179 billion tomorrow night. Robinhood Markets, all right, nice to see what they're going to do. 129 billion tomorrow night. DoorDash, 108 billion tomorrow night. McKesson Corporation, 100 billion tomorrow night. Okay, so a lot of market cap reporting today and tomorrow. Check out Thursday. AstraZeneca, 251 billion in the morning. ConocoPhillips, 110 billion in the morning. Parker Hannifin, 97 billion in the morning. Okay, all of these except for AMD, all right, are really like non-market movers. All right, they will definitely help out their sectors. Okay, all of these. But not really market mover. And the only reason AMD could be a market mover because it has now become an influential player in the AI space. And AI is in a bubble right now. So the AMD would be the one to keep an eye on. Thursday, what do we got? I already said AstraZeneca. Friday, Constellation Brands. Again, more familiar names, but nothing that's really going to be market moving. They'll definitely help out their sectors. Okay, so that's the earnings calendar. And let's take a look at the economic calendar. Then let's go take a look at the markets. See how we can prepare ourselves for today. Come on, buddy. Well, we'll come back to that, okay? That happens sometimes, you know. All right, so we can bounce back from that. They don't want to cooperate, so we'll just move on to the next step here. So let's take a look at SPY. So SPY's got a game plan this morning. Let's take a look at the game plan. All right, let's move this over. All right, so SPY game plan this morning. Okay, green erases red entry up over 684.25. You can see right up over this base. That's a green erases red entry. SPY pivot this morning 681.80. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Red erases green underneath 679.45. Well, we're already down underneath that. Currently, we got consolidation underneath all of this consolidation. That's bearish right now. I don't see anything bullish so far. So we do have a red erases green. We're in a downtrend. I would be looking for a 10-minute downtrend to trade, and I would trade that and probably see how far I can take that 10-minute downtrend. Okay, so there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. All right, and let's take a look at it this morning. We're up over VWAP, but we're just kind of flatlining right here. So for me, this is the way I'm going to trade it. I'm going to box it off right here and right there. Okay, so whoever breaks out of all of this consolidation, okay, it's going to be who I'm going to go with, all right, in the morning time. So whoever breaks out of this range right here, and the range starts 677.04 and goes all the way down to 674.45. Okay, in addition to that, okay, I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart and box off the first 15 minutes. All right, whoever breaks out of that, all right, I may be trading with them. All right, so if that happens to be inside this channel right here, I will look for them to test the top up here. All right, if it breaks out of the north side of the 15 minutes, if it breaks out of the south side of the 15 minutes, and the 15 minutes is still in the channel, I will look for them to test the pre-market low. Okay, so a breakout of the first 15 minutes, that's the plan. All right, I will look for tests of the pre-market low, breakout of the north side, a test of the pre-market high, and if they get past and consolidate over prior consolidation, all right, I will then look for possible test of this area right here and then gap fill. So a test of the pivot. After that, if they get up here, test of the pivot and then the gap fill. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I don't have that warm, fuzzy feeling like we're going to be doing a gap fill today. Okay, but we'll see what happens, all right? They may stage a late day rally. We'll see what happens. Okay, so again, break out of the north side of the first 15 minutes. I'm looking for a test of the top of the channel and, of course, that wick up top there, okay? And we'll see how it trades. If it can hold that higher ground without having to come all the way back here and test the lows, that would be a good sign for the bulls. And I would look for it to consolidate and then eventually start grinding its way up to this area of the pivot and then eventually gap fill near end of day. All right, so there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. And that's my plan for this morning. Okay, QQQ, got a game plan as well. And I'm going to do the same thing, all right? I'm going to mark off the top, okay? And I'm going to mark off the bottom, okay, right here. Okay, and I'm going to trade the first 15 minutes, all right? And if it's inside this channel, all right? If I happen to open up and we have a 10-minute downtrend that broke through the channel, and that goes for SPY as well. If we have a 10-minute downtrend that broke through the channel, I will look to participate in the 10-minute downtrend that broke through the channel. In other words, I will look for on the downside, I will look for a red candle, all right, to jump in on. That's not a doji. That's not a bottoming wick candle. See, like the sword right there? See the little sword? Okay, so I'll move this out of the way. Okay, see the sword? That's a bullish sword. See how it's pointed down? Okay, I don't want that. See how it's got more tail than body and wick? Okay, that means bulls are operating in there. Okay, so look for the bulls to operate in this area right here. All right, if we come down there. All right, just saying. I will look to participate in a red candle, no dojis, no spinning tops, no green candles, okay? And like I said, no candles with more tail than there is body and wick combined, okay? Because that would be a bullish candle, all right? And if we're going to go short, we don't want to be buying bullish candles, all right? We want the bullish candles to play out, all right? And then see if we can short it then, okay? Don't want to be buying strength, okay? We want to buy with the bears. We want to trade right alongside of big money. All right, wherever big money's moving, we want to move with the big money. Don't fight the big money. In other words, don't fight the trend. Okay, so wherever the trend takes us, that's where we want to continue with. Okay, so I'm going to move this back up there. So that goes for QQQ and SPY. Again, don't fight the trend. Let it tell you where it wants to go. Remember, we got a little bit of bulls operating down here in the pre-market. All right, so we'll see if they can hold this area down here in the pre-market. So there's QQQ on the 10-minute chart. All right, same thing on SPY, okay? If we get a breakout, okay, of the channel, we got a 10-minute trend, and it already is intact and running through. Look for a test at the bottom here. All right, it happens to, let's say it's underneath the channel here. Again, I'll be looking for a candle, a red candle to jump in on the 10-minute downtrend. Just no dojis, no spinning tops, all right? No sword candles, nothing with more tail than body and wick combined. Okay, so that's my plan. Let's go see if they've got those economic numbers up yet. And they're saying service is unavailable. Here we go. All right. So today's Tuesday. Okay, remember I said the main event this week is going to be the employment situation. Okay, that's at. I said it was at 8 o'clock. I'm wrong. It's at 8:30. Okay, that's the big one. This week is the employment situation. We'll see. Recently, the economic data has been delayed, or not submitted, or not released due to the government shutdown. So we may get some data, we may not get some data. We'll see what happens. Okay, so for today, international trading goods and services, that's at 8:30. Factory orders at 10, jolts at 10. Okay, tomorrow we've got MBA mortgage applications at 7. By the way, that happens almost every Wednesday. ADP employment report 8:15. That does not happen every Wednesday. It's okay, but the MBA mortgage applications, if you haven't figured it out by now, it's the same thing every Wednesday at 7. Mortgage applications on a Wednesday, unless of course there's a holiday and then they push it off. Okay, so PMI composite final 9:45. ISM services index 10 o'clock, and a petroleum report. That's pretty normal for a Wednesday. 10:30 petroleum report, and of course Thursday gives you the natural gas report. Okay, so Thursday we're going to have jobless claims 8:30, productivity and cost 8:30, wholesale inventories at 10, EIA natural gas report. Like I said, natural gas is usually Thursday, unless it's a holiday, and then they throw it off to another day. 10:30, almost every Thursday as normal, gas report. Okay, unless of course the government shutdown decides to not release some of those numbers. Okay, and then I said the main event is going to be 8:30 on Friday, and that is the employment situation. All right, so that's it for me for this morning. All right. Apparently, from social media, and I cannot confirm it because social media is not reliable. All right, but apparently, the president of the USA and the emperor or the president of China, I don't know what he calls himself, dictator, whatever. Anyways, they've come to an agreement, and it seems to be good news with trade negotiations. They're going to take responsibility of some of the fentanyl distribution coming to the USA. Okay, so that's good news. That's exactly what the president wanted. Okay, and it looks like we're going to lay off this tit-for-tat tariff war that we've initiated. All right, so that's great news, and they're going to buy some soybeans. You know, big deal. You know, it's not soybeans is something, but okay, but you know, it's not. it's not a lot of revenue in soybeans. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I mean, be something if it was like natural gas or something like that, because we got plenty of natural gas and they need energy over there. Okay, it'd be nice if they bought natural gas instead of soybeans, but it is what it is, and it looks promising. So all I can say is we'll see. All right, all right. That's the latest report. Again, this is social media. I did not um, verify it. Okay, so it's just what I saw, and it could be a big fat lie. All right, but that's what I saw. Okay, just want to share that. Okay, and I do want to place that caveat that you know don't believe everything you read on social media. Okay, so just that's what I saw. We'll see what happens. It hasn't been verified or validated. All right, so I'm going to take a break. I'm going to try to render this video. Haven't had a video since I went on vacation. All right, because either the video was on the wrong screen or the audio didn't work. So I think I got it all together today. And this will be my first video in a long time. So we're looking forward to that coming back. All my new members, all right, I want to say welcome. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for choosing BYOB. Appreciate that. Had some pretty good luck at the open house, I think. Thank you for choosing me to help lead you in your journey of trading. Please ask questions. Don't forget, I do 15-minute coaching for free. All right. If you're losing money, please stop trading. All right. Get some help. All right. Go to a simulator and try to figure it out on the simulator. We all work way too hard for our money. All right. To be losing it trying to develop our skills. All right. So just stop trading. Okay. Don't lose another dollar. Just stop trading. Just flatten. Just stop trading, because you don't need to be. Because if you continue to lose money, you're not going to be happy. You're certainly not going to be happy in here. All right. If you're losing money, even if you're not even taking my orders, you're just losing money. Okay. So just stop and get some help. All right. And because I offer free 15-minute coaching because I want you to get the help you need. All right, I'm going to take a break here. I'll be back in 30 minutes. We're going to open up the markets, and hopefully we can record them live, and the audio and the video is going to work this time. Woohoo! All right, and we'll see what happens, okay? So I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes.